So being indicted for murder, facing a long prison sentence, how did that affect you psychologically?
On the first occasion I was arrested, I'm a local boy in the area in Ballina. So normally we're going to get a cleaner's job or something like that. I knew something was strange when I seen it was something like out of Judge Dredd. Big overalls, numbers on the hat, no the hats, the visors, shields, dogs, and I thought, this has all changed since the last time. I never knew I'm on category. I never knew I'm getting marched right into this fucking windy house. And probably a bit exhausted, to be quite honest with you, checking every 15 minutes. What I do remember is waking up the next morning and it was like the Judge Dredd soldiers again, the shields open and a bowl comes through with porridge on it. There's your breakfast. I'm like, there's my breakfast. And all you've got on there is a chamber pot where you urinate, you do your things in it. And I want to get rid of that for you. We'll get you in a minute. So it became a bit of a strategy. They try to psychologically have wars with me. Luckily, I was well experienced being a young offender. Totally reversed it back on them. And kind of knew that what my position is, something's going to happen somewhere down the line. At that point, back in, when you touched on earlier, when I was a teenager and the young offenders, the only way I could the only way I could drop the temperature in my body was take the pajamas off and lie naked, spread eagle on the floor and then turn over. And I denounced my religion at that time personally because I asked for help and I never got it. But what I did understand is you should hope other people ask for you and not be too selfish in asking for yourself. So I re-engaged back into it with Ballina, read a lot of books, Holy Blood, Holy Grail, challenged one religion. And it wasn't until the main star witness, Dennis Woodman, who's got a history doing it. His name was Wilkinson, way back in the past. I've been reading the Holy Blood and the Holy Grail, and some parts it interrupts your flow because it mentions John chapter. So if you're familiar with the Bible, you know what it is. If you're not familiar with the Bible, it's like, oh fuck it, I'll read on a bit here. And then something I'll contact, look at Proverbs. So I need a Bible. I'm 3 months into this remand. And I thought, well, it takes a big effort to ask for a Bible. Because you know what they're thinking, Sean, eh? So anyway, I pressed the buzzer. The screw's gone, how can I help you? I said, I'd like a Bible. You're like, what? I said, a Bible. And it's the quietest, the spy hole's usually a bit of metal. It's the quietest it's ever been put down. And I could hear, so next thing, doors open, there's a priest there. But the book that I'm reading, this Holy Blood and Holy Grail, was upside down on the pillow. So I've looked at the priest and I went, didn't it take you to come here and give me this Bible, did it? He went, no. They've asked him to come and see, because they think this guy's going to chop himself. All I want to do is understand the rest of his book. They don't know it. Right? And when I'm discussing it, the priest sees what I'm reading. Fucking hell, he went into it. He was like an exorcist. That's bliss. Because it was an academic thesis on, was it Jesus on the cross? I'm a Catholic, I'm quite entitled to look at my own religion. Was it Jesus on the cross? You've got an academic thesis, archaeologists. Open your mind to these sort of things, but I want to know what's in this Bible. Then he said, and this is, do you want to read the Bible for that? I went, yeah. I said, now get out, shut the fucking door. And I did. I said, it took you 3 months to come and see me. So that's what I get into with the mind games. I used to deliberately get books in so that the security would read it and go, what's he doing reading that? Right heavy duty books that let Brothers Karamazov and big classic things, and they would keep them because they think there's maybe a bit of hash in it, there's a bit of drug in it, and then it got to no hard copies, but there was, I've got to say, honestly, there was really, really good prison officers. People call them screws. And there was really, really bad prison officers.
Did the reading take your mind off your predicament?
No, I'd been used to solitary and myself. It's part of my life. That when you get in there, that is your life. So what I learned early on, and as young offenders, you kind of build barriers up. Your vision is that wall. Forget about looking past that wall. Your vision's that wall. That's your life. Visits were hard, and I talk about visits, and I talk about the visits where you're sitting there as a prisoner. Either your wife, your mum, your parents, or your kids are there. See when they walk up, when they stand up and walk out that door, you've gave yourself that sentence. The judge has not done it for you, and it's one of the hardest ones to take. You know, so visits I got on the segregation unit were behind a bulletproof screen in case what was said, I've got somebody to bring up a firearm to escape. And I laughed at it and I said, do you realise that me trying to escape was an admission of guilt? He didn't believe that one, you know. So all my visits were non-contact, non-human, non-nothing. That was up for 8 months.
Oh, that was your missus coming to visit. Did she bring your
what
child
they
over?
done is I kind of had an issue. It's common knowledge. I did have an issue with my partner at the time, and I was seeing somebody else. And what I done is I sent a visiting slip out with a need for new clothes on it, and the screws swapped. They did that.
No.
They did that. They did. So I'm on this visit. My partner Anne-Marie came up at this time. She's asked me questions, and I thought, "What are you getting at?" She pulled the letter out, put it right on the window. Who's this? And I thought, we've had domestic issues. She's probably, you've got her letter, and she's got your. But somebody done it. Somebody done it, and the guy who's sitting listening to the visit, I've turned around and went, I'll be speaking to you in a minute. So when that visit's left, they said, do you want exercise? I went, right, out into the yard. I said, if you're men enough, go and pick the guy that swapped his letters and tell him to come out here. We'll sort this out. And see if you don't, I'll be doing something about it. Which I did do.
So you found out who it was?
No. I had an idea who it was. But I went back into Glenorchy wolf mode. With a bucket of shit. So whoever it was, it might not be named, but somebody had to tidy the office up. And then they've got to ask, why was that? And then somebody's got to then ask, why would you want to swap letters? Psychological warfare. You just revert back into, it's not nice, don't get us wrong, I don't like doing it, but if you go and punch one of them or use a shank or what, you're getting another 10 years.